The most used is the treble clef, and it's used for saxophones, trumpets, and that's the thing that he's learned so well that in his mind, that's all there is in music. And that's okay, that's a good thing, because when you buy a fake book, they will almost always write the melody out on the treble clef, or the G clef. They will almost always write that melody out and then put chords over it. So fake books just give you a melody and a chord progression, basically, and they're almost always written with that thing. But what it does is it puts the letter G on the second line. This is the letter C. So the soprano is putting the letter C on the bottom line because sopranos are so high, their voice goes so high, that they have to put it on the bottom of the staff so they have room for writing in the part. So again, this is counterintuitive. It's just the exact opposite of what you think you would normally see. Here's my staff. And I'm going to write for a soprano. The soprano has this wide range, and she goes really, really, really high. So in order to use all the space on the staff, what am I going to do? I'm going to put her clef down here on that bottom line. So I have all of this room with a couple ledger lines to notate her music. Now what's the next lowest voice? Mezzo-soprano. So what happens is if you take a look, the next staff, called the mezzo-soprano staff, takes the letter C and moves it up to this line here. And a composer would just notate it with this little symbol like that. Now, this is now the letter C. And again, I need all these notes up here for the mezzo-soprano, but she can sing some notes down here. Okay? And that's why it's down, not up. Counterintuitive, right? Again, what's the next one? Next highest voice, alto. So what do? We put the alto right smack dab in the center. And by the way, the alto clef is also the viola. V-E-L. It's also the viola clef. That's the one violas have traditionally chose to be their clef. And what it does is it takes the letter C and puts it on that middle line. And if I did that, every sharp and flat I put on here wouldn't meet what you were looking for. When I a couple weeks ago I went like this, and he said, no, it's F sharp, it should be up on the line. But I was thinking about this clef. So if this is C, right, D, E, that's where the F sharp should go. Okay. So don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, there's only the treble clef. The sharps and flats can be any place, depending on which of these clefs we're using. Now let's go further. Tenor is the next highest voice, so guess what? It goes up to this line. That's where they put C. Why? Because the tenor sings down and then has some high notes. Okay. And then the baritone and the bass are the deepest sounding voices, right? So their clef goes up here at the top. So now we're putting the letter C up here, and now we got all these notes down here for writing for those bass voices, and only a couple of ledger lines above for those bass voices. Can you see why these are the reverse of what we think they are? And by the way, these are known as SATB. Soprano, alto, tenor, and bass or baritone clef are used for writing music. So if you go out and buy parts for a chorus, for a four-part chorus, they have what they call SATBs. And when you hear people talk about SATB, what they're saying is soprano, alto, tenor, bass, clef. And what will happen is there'll be four clefs, there'll be four staffs, with one of these different clefs on each one, writing the part for that vocal singer. So the soprano, we're going to put it down here, and her staff is usually the top staff. There'll be another staff below this that usually has the alto on it. Then there'll be another one back here in which that clef is higher. And then there'll be another one down here, which is the bass, whose clef is at the top. And that shows us the full band throughout. Is everyone getting this so far?
So the bracket here between the C at the top right, and you get the bass clef on a D. On a G.
You can't say the bass clef's on a D.
No, you have the bass clef, and it's right there. But you said this is a C here, right? And you have a bracket, but there's a D.
No.
Apples and oranges, my friend.
No, but did
A
you say
clef,
that-
there's only one clef.
that-
There's only one clef on the staff, and it defines where that letter name is.
That's C. Oh,
No, it's not. Again, again. This is. I'm sorry, but that's that trouble clef fascism that everyone
F is right here.
runs into. No, it's not. Get the part of this lesson. The part of this lesson is any line can be any letter name I want. And I have 3 letter names to choose from, G's, F's, and C's, and I can put them on any line I want to. Therefore, moving the ABCs to any line of staff I want to.
What's the bracket between those two?
It's just showing that the baritone clef is, there's 2 possible baritone clefs. One is using the C as a baritone clef, the other one is using the letter F to define the baritone clef. Right. So, now what's over here, the bass is defining F. And you can see that it's on that second from the top line. And this is called the sub-bass, they put it on the very top line, so the very top line of the staff now is the letter F. So all we're doing is putting the letter. Now, here's the thing. Once I know this, how does this fit into what I've been teaching you? It turns out that if you take every other letter name of the alphabet, and we start with A, instead of saying B, go to C, cross over the next letter to E, cross over the next letter to G, cross over the next letter to D, cross over the next to D, to F, and to A, you get this circle, and this circle is identical to this one. And this is used the same way. But here's the problem. I need some mnemonic way of memorizing this pattern. If I could just memorize it by rote, that would be good. Because this is a good way to label any line or any space anywhere using the ABC system. Right? But what I do to help drive this in is this can be used anywhere on any clef with any staff, any place to define anything I want. And again, all I need to know is one line or one space, what the name is, and then I can use this circle to label all the lines, or use that circle to label all the spaces, and that will work for any clef, in anywhere, on any staff. Okay? So I only have one thing to remember. Now when I was a kid and I was learning ABCs, they taught me the treble clef was every good boy does find fudge. You know, every good boy does find fudge. You know, great. And then the spaces in between were F-A-C-E, face. Then when I learned the bass clef, they taught me good boys do find something always, and then the lines were something else. Then when I studied viola in college, and I learned the viola clef, then it was something else. So I had to learn 6 different mnemonic patterns for labeling the lines and spaces. And I have to tell you, in my life, they keep getting confused as to which one I use for what. So to, again, out there in the world, oops, that camera's blinking. To help you people in the world that use ABC, there's really only one pattern, which is called the circle of thirds. And this pattern works for all of them, everywhere. I'm going to change that tape. Now, here's the... Yes, I am. Thank you.
Rolling.
So let's say I'm going to use the tenor clef. And I take the tenor clef and I put it right here. So what I'm doing is I'm defining this space here as C. So the line above that would be E. And the ledger line above that would be the letter G. And 2 ledger lines above would be the letter B. Now, I need to also learn a way to rotate this thing backwards. And so the mnemonic code that I use for going down the staff is, can a farm dog bite green eggs? Now, cows eat grass but don't fly airplanes. I don't know about you, but if a cow is eating grass, I don't want him to fly an airplane I'm on. So that's easy to remember, because it's nonsensical. But if you're a city dog, chances are you might bite green eggs. You wouldn't know green eggs from white eggs. But a country dog can a farm dog bite green eggs? And the answer is no. They would never be foolish enough to do it. So those two mnemonic codes is one way you can use the ABC system to decode anything. So this would be, can a farm dog, ledger line, bite, ledger line, green, and that's as far as we need to go. Can you see? So coming backwards, green eggs, can a farm dog bite green? Going up, cows eat grass but don't fly airplanes. Cows eat grass but don't fly airplanes. And this basically is
Between this and all the other ones we learned is it has all 7 letters.
Yes. Now here's how I can decode music, and I need to get this to this in the next 15 minutes. Hang on to your hat.